The Bride of Frankenstein is about two mad scientists coming together to create a woman for Frankenstein's monster. Hey everybody, how you doing out there? And welcome to a very special movie review, anniversary movie to review to be exact. If you saw the thumbnail, you already know it. It is the 90th anniversary to Bride of Frankenstein that came out May 6th of 1935. So if you're watching this the very first day, awesome. If you're watching it after the anniversary, that's actually perfectly fine there too. I just appreciate you checking me out one way or the other here. So whenever it comes to this Frankenstein sequel, I watched this movie like many years ago, and I really was not the biggest fan of this movie. Now, I understand it's a classic movie for a reason, but I will never actually ever think that this is like the greatest movie on earth like a lot of people actually think it is. I do have some dislikes to talk about, so if you're someone that doesn't want to hear anything negative about this movie, then you might want to just shut off right now. But for anybody who's actually going to give me a shot to explain it, I do appreciate the people who decided to still hang on doing that here. So let's get ourselves started. And starting with the likes, the first thing I want to talk about is Frankenstein's monster, played by Boris Karloff, who also played Frankenstein in the original movie. He still does a great job with his acting. He's still scary as hell. I love the makeup on him there. I mean, God, you got a 7-foot monster coming after me. I would be screaming like a little girl there too, like anybody else actually does in this movie. The biggest thing that I really like about him are actually two big things. It's actually, the first thing is his journey that he goes through, and I really do enjoy what we actually get, because he's not really actually trying to hurt people. He's actually just trying to almost like escape and almost try to like live his own life to a point, and actually just try to find a friend in the world there. And who isn't looking for at least hopefully one really good friend if they could find that there? So I really did like that about him. And he also does go through different emotions. It's not just that he's always angry and all that. He actually, there's times where he's happy, he's actually sad. Yeah, he's upset, he's angry. There's a lot of mixtures that he has to do. And for the most part, he does a really good job on each one of those there. When it comes to the mob in this here, now in the original, you didn't really see the mob really come together until like Act 3. But in this one, it's like the beginning of Act 2, about 25-30 minutes into the movie. And they actually do find the monster in broad daylight. They actually beat him up, and they end up taking him into the dungeon. And so he's all chained up with it on his wrist and his ankles. And as soon as everybody actually leaves, he pretty much breaks the chains. He breaks a couple doors down, knocks like 3 or 4 people over, and he just bolts as fast as he can actually run back into the woods. And that's where he starts like hiding in the woods, hiding in like crypts. Now some people might say that's a dislike, of like, wait, they get him almost right away, they kidnap him, get him into a dungeon, and then all of a sudden he's out like that. And it's like, yeah, I could see people's points if you do disagree with me about that, but that just kind of proves that we just need the pacing to go as fast as we can in this movie. Why should we just worry about the two mad scientists for most of the movie? Then we show Frankenstein's monster, and it's like, oh, it's like he's still back in the dungeon there. I completely forgot about him. No, it's all about the monster than anything else. And of course, in this one, I get the whole thing. It's all about him having a friend, possibility a female friend. You got this one doctor. Actually, he's the second mad scientist behind Dr. Victor Frankenstein there. But this guy is crazier, he's scarier, he's creepier, and probably just because of some of the camera angles that we get on this guy here, let alone the way that he actually talks, not just to Victor Frankenstein, but to anybody else, it seems like thinking, you are one crazy SOB. You might even be scarier than the monster itself, honestly. But the actor, whoever played him, does a terrific job, and I was very pleased to have like just somebody who's just out of their mind. There is a really great and powerful scene with a blind man who actually meets the monster at his home there. The monster goes to his home, and he listens that this guy actually plays the fiddle, and the monster loves music. So I thought that was a really powerful scene when the blind man actually invites the monster into his home, and I think it was like some soup or whatever and some bread. I really did like that. I thought this was actually directed very well. It's the same director of the original Frankenstein, James Well. I thought the script, I really did like a lot of the dialogue. No matter what I thought about some of the actors that we're going to be getting into here, but I thought the dialogue was really, really good. We actually don't get a lot of kills in this movie, but when we actually do, I do actually enjoy the kills. And the final light is got to be the way that this movie ends. Like maybe like the last 2-3 minutes of this movie was perfect. And moving on to the dislikes, the first thing I want to talk about is actually the second mad scientist. There was a little thing about him I was not a big fan of. When we first see him, he goes to Dr. Frankenstein's house and convinces him to go to his laboratory. So they end up going, and the second mad scientist, forgive me for not remembering his character's name or the actor's name, he starts pulling out like these 4 glass jars about, like I said, about this tall, and they're covered up with some cloth, and I'm like, oh, I wonder what's going to be under this. So when he starts revealing what they are, the Dr. Frankenstein, it's little people in almost like glass houses, and I'm like, and 2 of them are actually a king and a queen, and I'm just like, okay, maybe back in 1935 people were probably impressed with a normal sized person being shrunk down like that compared to now where it would be CGI, so I can kind of give it a little credit on that there, but I really didn't care. I really wasn't impressed that that's what it was. I was thinking it was going to be a lot more sicker or gruesomer than what they actually showed us. When it comes to the monster and the blind man. Now, and the likes I talked about whenever they first met, it was at night. I'm assuming that the monster slept over the blind man's house and they're having breakfast, and the blind man starts saying to the monster, this is bread, which I know he actually gave bread to him like last night with a bowl of soup. He said this is alcohol, this is and this is a cigar. And of course, once Frankenstein's monster sees the fire, he starts freaking out a little bit, but the blind man is able to convince him almost right away and say, look, sometimes fire can actually be good. And I just thought it was very weird of seeing Frankenstein having some alcohol and smoking a cigar, especially smoking a cigar because it is somewhat fire there. And then he also does talk. Now, I've seen other Frankenstein movies where he does talk there too, but I guess I would have expected, even in his second appearance as Frankenstein, I would have thought it was going to still just be more and facial expressions, just like a Michael Myers or a Jason Voorhees. But he does start talking, and I don't know, I guess it just kind of felt weird for just the second time seeing that particular character. When it comes to the supporting cast in this movie here, I was not really a big fan of almost anybody in here. I felt like that they all kind of brought the movie down. Even at the very beginning of this movie, we have 3 people, and one's a woman playing Mary Shelley, who's the one that wrote the Frankenstein book that got published back in 1818. And these 2 guys, I think one of them was supposed to be her husband, and they don't really have any chemistry with each other. I almost felt like that beginning part could have been cut off, and maybe I would have actually even enjoyed this movie slightly better than what we actually got there. Other characters I want to talk about would be Dr. Frankenstein. It's the same actor who played Frankenstein in the original in 1931. But in this one, he is like one of the biggest wimps. Like, I think his acting is great, and I think he does a great job doing that. But at least in the first one, he had that balance where he was the mad scientist. He was a little bit on the wimpy side, but he regretted what he did because of that, but he still became strong to go fight his own monster, his own demon to a point there. But in this one, it was like 95% wimp, 5% mad scientist. So there's not really a balance on this one here. So it's like, I just kind of felt like that he was almost like, his character was almost like downgraded to be like a foot soldier for the other mad scientist. And I thought that's actually kind of bad. Why would you do that to someone like, Dr. Frankenstein? But they did, and I was very, very disappointed. When it comes to the story, this is a copy and paste like the original, except slower. They drag it out more. We already know where this is going to go, and I just wish it was a little bit faster, that they finally get to our title character that we haven't even mentioned yet here. And it's pretty much very similar where Dr. Frankenstein finds a dead body, it's a guy. With this second mad scientist, it's a woman. Frankenstein finds his in a graveyard, and the other guy actually finds his in a crypt. But it's like, why would I ever come and watch this movie if I already know that there's a better movie out there? And the final dislike is going to be our title character, the Bride of Frankenstein. Now, the actress who actually played Mary Shelley at the very beginning of this movie, she's also playing the Bride of Frankenstein. So it's kind of cool, almost like this. The same actress is kind of bookending the movie with her playing one character into a different character. Now, the Bride of Frankenstein, I do definitely like the design of her. I mean, she's a brunette. You get the white stripes in her hair there. I like the dress that the mad scientist put on her. The thing was that it takes so freaking long for us to finally actually see her, and she hardly really has anything to really do in this movie. So as much as that this is such, for a lot of people, it's on a pedestal, it's a great movie, I'm actually more disappointed with this movie than I actually thought I really was actually going to be. The Bride of Frankenstein, I'm actually going to go 1.5 out of 4 stars. Have you seen this movie? Are you someone that actually agrees with me at all? Do you disagree? Do you really like this movie? Give me a comment down below. We shall discuss it. And thank you guys so much for watching another movie review, an anniversary movie review, and I will see you guys in the next one.